Hello all, welcome back to another video and welcome to Sammy G's World of Cinema. Today on the channel, guys, I'm going to do a bit of a different video. I wanted to do something kind of like movie related still, but kind of talk about these movies that I first encountered when I was at school. I've got 9 movies on this list, guys, but I have thrown in an additional film here that I first watched at college because I have to talk about that movie as well. So there is 9 movies for the most part I first encountered when I was at school. But there's one movie at the end that I'm going to talk about that I first encountered at college because that film just totally blew me away. It really did. So, guys, grab yourself a cuppa. It is a bit of a, chilly, sort of like autumnal sort of day, but it's a good time to be watching all things horror and movies in general, as always. So grab yourself a cuppa, guys. Let's get on with the show and let's roll the credits and we'll get on with it, shall we? Come on, bring on the show. Let's go. So guys, the first movie I wanted to talk about was a film that doesn't need much introduction. We all know the movie and it is an absolute timeless classic. I don't know how the remake or the sequel is going to go. I didn't know, to be honest, but it's going to be a thing from the sounds of it, and we'll just have to see how that plans out. But I first watched this, I think it was before we went for the October holidays, and this was the October half term, I should say, and I watched this at primary school. First time I watched it was in about October 2007, so yeah, it was my first time watch of this film was at school, and that was Labyrinth. So Labyrinth, just an all-time fantasy classic, from the master that is Jim Henson. Wonderful film. I absolutely love David Bowie. I'm a big David Bowie fan anyway, but it's great to see David Bowie taking on like a star, like leading role in this film. He's still obviously, was still doing a lot of great albums around this time, but it was great to see him in a leading role in the film, like he was in many films before this as well. And Labyrinth, where he takes on the role as the Goblin King, and you've got Jennifer Connelly, who takes on the role as Sarah, who she's a little bit confused and she doesn't really know, the whole thing about, sort of babysitting her brother. She really isn't getting on well with her brother, to the point where she makes a wish, and then that wish she long regrets, and then she goes on this extravaganza adventure to find her brother, but she also does make a pact with the Goblin King as well as this. In this journey, the song numbers are so much fun. I love the songs by David Bowie. I just love, again, the designs on these creatures and stuff, and this world building is really excellent. And yeah, it was great to first watch this when I was at primary school, and I just remember, I think this was actually as well my introduction to David Bowie. Even before obviously discovering his music and seeing him in a couple other films as well. And yeah, it's just great. This is the first time hearing about David Bowie in the year 2007, and yeah, I love this film so much. Magic Dance is an absolute banger of a song, and yeah, it's just so much fun. So that is Labyrinth. And then also for the first time, I watched this film at primary school. I think this was when I was like kind of sort of like third, probably fifth year of primary school, and that was Goodnight, Mr. Tom. Now, yep, I absolutely love this film. This was the first time I watched this film at primary school. I think when we were doing like history lessons and learning about the Second World War as well, and yeah, like watching this film for the first time, and like I think nobody else in the classroom has heard about this film before we first watched it at school. And I remember just watching this and like it, because we would do that thing where there'd be during one lesson, it would last an hour, and then we'd go on like our lunch break and think, oh wow, do you know what? I am really, really impressed with this film here. And then I was like, wow, do you know what? I can't wait now to get back to class to like resume and watch this film. But absolutely brilliant stuff. John Ford as Mr. Tom, who sadly lost his wife, and he does a lot of work, charity work for the church. He's very much himself to himself kind of guy. And then he looks after William Beach, who has been like evacuated, relocated to the countryside, whilst like his mother is really, really ill. And yeah, and basically Mr. Tom kind of is a little bit overwhelmed by like this new experience, but then over time you see that he really does build a great, like, you know, sort of like father-son relationship with like William Beach and that, and it's just a fantastic little film, guys. There is just so many great characters in this one as well, in my opinion. To this, I do like I really do like the side story with like the main like teacher as well. I think that is like the teacher and her husband as well. I think that is such a good side story to this one as well. But again, like the music is just really uplifting, and just, you know, like I just love like the location of like this village as well. I just remember being in class, being at school, watching this for the first time and just absolutely loving this film. I just remember going back home that very day, and I was saying to my mum, I think my mum picked me up from school, and I was like, Mum, do you know what? I watched such a good little film today, Goodnight, Mr. Tom. And then my mum told me, yeah, I've watched that film before as well, and I think my grandparents at the time had it on VHS. So absolutely lovely little film, and just, yeah, there is some emotional beats to this one as well, but very good stuff there, and just kind of just why I love British cinema, wonderful movies like this. So yeah, that's Goodnight, Mr. Tom there. Next up, and I believe this might have been a first time watch at school as well, you know, like at primary school, when I was living back in West Yorkshire as well. And I think I did watch snippets of this like when it was on the telly and stuff, but I didn't watch it like in its entirety. And that was E.T., and I know Ollie will approve of this one as well, because Ollie absolutely loves this film, and I do too. This is a fantastic fantasy adventure film, just with a lot of heart and charm to it. And yeah, I think I was in my 4th year of primary school when I watched this for the first time. I think it was just before like the May half-term holidays, before we went half-term and that. And yeah, we all watched the film, and this was the film of the choice, and that was E.T. And yeah, what was really interesting as well was our teacher as well told us that, yeah, like there's a very like young appearance from Drew Barrymore in this film as well. And yeah, I do remember there was like a couple of scenes where like the alien would just appear, and then there was like a couple of remarks like from Drew Barrymore's character or this character, and we all just chuckled along at it. But it was absolutely great, and again, I just remembered whilst we were watching this one lesson, and then we'd go like again on our dinner break and stuff, and I'd be telling them again, people in my school, yeah, like, this is such a really great little film, this one. I'm really enjoying like this film so far, and then we rush back to lesson to finish watching the film. But yeah, again, great story with this one, with Elliot, who is looking after this alien, you know, to protect this alien. So you can see that Bumblebee kind of took a bit of inspiration from this film as well, and you know, like to protect you know, like this alien from this sort of like this army, this sort of like this task force. And yeah, it is just a really sweet little film. The music in it is beautiful, just some iconic moments as well. So yeah, fantastic film, and I'll always remember the day when I first watched this film in its entirety at primary school there. So that's E.T. there. The other one is a Disney film. This is the first time I watched this film at primary school. Again, I think it was just before the Christmas holidays, before the Christmas half term. I think it was probably about 2006, I think it was. If not, I think it was about 2005 or 2006. So yeah, this would have been about my third year of primary school, and that is Mulan. So yeah, Mulan, wonderful. I love this film. I will avoid the remake like the plague, guys. I've got no interest in that remake, to be honest, because I just love this original version that much. Again, the song numbers are just so much fun. I just love the character of Mulan that's going undercover under this new identity in order to join this army of assassins and go under training. And yeah, it's just brilliant. I love kind of like the little bug there, isn't it? The little bug character is really sweet. And yeah, I just, again, and obviously you've got the dragon in there as well. It's just, like a lot of Disney classics, guys, it is just brilliant, and it does something. What I love about Disney classics and like Disney Pixar, it is constantly reinventing the wheel, like having a bit of resurgence with its like storylines and story arcs, and you know, it brings something original and fresh to the table. And I think that there is just craftsmanship all the merry way here with Disney. And yeah, like just the storyboards, the storytelling is just down to a T here, and some of the best movies ever we've had is from Disney. And yeah, Mulan is just great, guys. Again, just it's kind of got a bit of a samurai sort of feel. I kind of love like the wintry atmosphere, if you like, as well, and all the training as well, the rival to the story, you know, it makes for, again, like a lot of Disney films, there's a lot of great sort of like threat to the story, as well as a good twist here and there to kind of make your jaw hit the floor, and then the kind of like the film has done its job there. And yeah, I just love Mulan. I need to rewatch this one. I need to get this one on 4K actually, and I haven't even got it on Blu-ray. I think I've got it on VHS somewhere. But yeah, I just remembered like watching this for the first time at primary school, and I just remember loving this film, guys. And just I also do remember as well, my brother Chris ever so kindly got me the VHS of this for like one Christmas as well. And I was like, yeah, wow. I just remember, because I love the film that much, and it was great to be there on Christmas Day and like having this on VHS as well. Yeah, to kind of like relive that experience of how much I enjoyed this movie from that first time watch at school there. So that is Mulan there. Last film to talk about, which was a first time watch when I was at primary school, and that was Grease. Grease is the word, right? Like a lot of people, like, it was just absolutely just fantastic to, you know, like, we all remember our first time watch of Grease. I know Roy very much remembers his first time watch of Grease, and that was, you know, just like such a great like reaction that was. But this is just, yeah, one of the best musicals ever. I absolutely love this film. You know, like, again, there's just so many wonderful songs in here. The summery vibrancy that the movie is going for, the 1950s look of the movie as well, and just John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, who are just like both dynamite together in this film. And yeah, they've just got like really good like chemistry in this film as well. And yeah, all the side characters are just so much fun in this. But yeah, we did first watch this film, but yeah, I remember us just watching this for the first time. When we was at school. It was just before like the Christmas half term, so this was my last year of primary school. And this yeah, I just remember we watched this before like we broke up for the Christmas holidays. And then like, yeah, in 2009, we did the, sort of like the school play of Grease as well. And yeah, we all had an absolute ball doing this, production, like this school play of, like, Grease as well. And yeah, so this was definitely a great first time watch of this movie, of this film that would just led on to us doing like the school play as well in our last year of primary school, and it was so much fun. And yeah, again, I love the songs from Frankie Valli in this one and the Four Seasons. And yeah, it's just a great film, guys. I love kind of the romantic side of the movie as well, and just, again, there's the summery setting. Danny and Sandy are just, you know, like just a wonderful pairing to the movie, and so many other great side characters along the way there. So that is Grease. Grease is the word indeed. Then, guys, on to high school now. And, well, I could have picked High School Musical was a first time watch at school, but I'm not a fan of that film, and thankfully we didn't do a play of High School Musical. I mean, that would have just been torture, to be honest, because I am just not a fan of those movies. They just do absolute nothing for me. But yeah, the first time, so this was my first year of high school, and for the first time I watched Bugsy Malone. So Bugsy Malone, again, like a fair few of these musicals, just a classic for a reason. We can be anything we want to be. It is just awesome. And yeah, I do remember, I think we were watching this one. I think it was during our like drama lessons, I think it was. And there was actually like the school play that was happening that was devoted to Bugsy Malone as well. And yeah, it was actually the first time hearing about this film, like, at school as well. And yeah, just a classic. Jodie Foster, this was the first, like, the same year as Taxi Drivers, so what an incredible year Jodie Foster had in 1976 there. And 1920s New York setting is just great to this. I love the production design. It is absolutely off the scale, and you know, the rivalry between both of these main gangsters in the film as well. And then you get, obviously, this guy Bugsy Malone that falls in love with I think it's Blousy Brown, who is a singer at this diner. and yeah, they start to kind of have a bond, and you know, and they start to kind of have their own chemistry there. But yeah, but on top of this, you've got like kind of this bittersweet rivalry between these two families, these two gangs. So kind of a bit similar sort of vein to like Romeo and Juliet there. A fantastic, fun film, guys. Again, one that I do need to go back and rewatch, but I do remember my first time watching this was on my first year of high school. I just remember when I was even in the classroom, I would just remember someone would just be like singing, "We can be anything that we wanted to be," and yeah, like I just remember like doing my homework, and then I would start humming along to it as well. It was, yeah, just a really good film, guys, and yep, great direction as well from Alan Parker, who also directed like a bit of a music-related film there with like The Commitments as well. So yep, that is Bugsy Malone. I do need to get hold of this one on Blu-ray because it's been such a long time, but another first time watching this movie was at school, so I thought I'd include it in here. So that is Bugsy Malone. I think, is it Fat Sam and Dandy Dan, I think the two main rivals in this story. So yeah, that's Bugsy Malone there. This was at my second to last year at high school, and I remembered when this film was absolutely everywhere, guys. You could not avoid this film if you tried. I remember it was kind of a bit of a big hit at the time. It was the year after, obviously, the Harry Potter saga came to its epic conclusion. And yeah, you know, this was a total different role for Daniel Radcliffe to take on here. Kind of like his other leading role, but you'd see him kind of evolve as an actor as the years progress. My goodness, guys, I remembered it was the February half term, so this was actually before my second to last year of high school. So I remembered it was that February half term, and I remember there was two big films that were showing at that time. There was The Muppets. Of course, I went to see The Muppets, of course, because everything is great and everything is grand. And there was this film, The Woman in Black. So, I must admit, guys, being like kind of like, I wasn't all too into horror at the time, and I remembered for weeks on end when we came back from the February half term in 2012, I remembered there was just a lot of word of mouth surrounding this film. I remember when, you know, like, again, my English teacher, she went to see it, she absolutely loved it. All the people my school year went to see it. They went to see it, and they were like, wow, this really gave us a massive fright. I remember when people, again, I think there was a couple of people who just run out the cinema because there was a couple of jump scares here and there, and I just remember that was the only film I would hear about for weeks on end would be The Woman in Black. I think I went to Spain. It was about, first time I went abroad was July 2012, and I thought, oh good, I don't have to watch this film, because they were actually like, well, I wasn't forced to watch it or anything, guys. But I do remember like being on a holiday in Spain, and it was the last week of school. But yeah, I finished my school year early because I went on holiday in Spain, and I remembered meeting up with one of my friends in my school year at the time, and he was saying, yes, Sam, they actually, whilst you were away, mate, they did show The Woman in Black, during our last week before the summer holidays. I was like, yes, get in, I've avoided this film. And then basically, guys, my second to last year of high school, And I was thinking, oh, but yeah, surely they're not going to show this film again now. Surely not. And then, oh my God, well, spooky season and all that. We was studying a film, part of it in our English lessons, and oh yes, this was the film we watched. So I was bracing myself because I've never watched a horror movie until that point. I was very late to the party with the horror genre, and yeah, I was like, oh shit, I guess I'm now watching The Woman in Black at long last. So I didn't get away with it clearly, but nor was I ever forced to, of course, guys. But I thought, you know what? The rest of the class, they were up for watching it. I'll give this a watch. So I remembered, I didn't know too much about the whole horror genre, like up until this point. And I remember watching this film and I was like, wow, this was terrifying. This was, you know, like shit the bed sort of, you know, like material here. And, you know, being 14 at the time, I remember watching this. And I also just remembered when we watched the film, I remember being on the phone to my brother and said, Mike, I've just watched The Woman in Black for the first time. And Mike went to the cinema to see it upon its release. And he was like, Sam, did you not find this film super creepy? And I was like, Mike, oh yes, indeedy, I did. It was pretty terrifying, and there's just so many like kind of jump scares as well. Oh my God, the scene when he's spinning that thing, isn't he? The spinner, and then the face appears, and then basically he would turn the lamp off, and then that you could hear the doors and the walls are shaking. All these like imagery, creepy imagery, like along the train as well, and oh, I tell you what, I did shite myself a few times when watching this. Never seen the sequel, but decent little horror film, this one, guys. I've not been back to it for many years, but I do remember it being decent. I do think I prefer the original adaptation of the Susan Hill novel. Like, it was like, I think the BBC, was it BBC or ITV adaptation I've got on Blu-ray as well. But yeah, like Daniel Radcliffe, who is spending time away from his family. He goes to like this like cottage to kind of like do some paperwork to put this house on the market, and then long and behold, he finds that there is a demon, a ghost that is drastically coming in and out of the picture here. And then it kind of puts his plans at unease. And yeah, I also do remember as well, again, like one of the teachers and some of my school, yeah, I just remember saying to them, like, yeah, do tell me a bit more about this film, The Woman in Black. And I was like, yeah, like, I do remember he told me a bit about the story, when like the jump scares come into the picture when you least expect it. So, yeah, decent horror film. Like I say, guys, this was my first ever horror film. And obviously, there's far, far superior horror movies that I would watch long after this. But I'll never forget, this was like kind of like my first ever horror movie I watched. And it did scare the bejesus out of me, but it was a decent little film as well. So that is The Woman in Black there. Sticking with horror, and I do remember we watched this, I think it was just before the Christmas half term. It was in December 2012, and yeah, I do remember watching this one at school. Again, I was very much new to the whole horror genre at the time, and that was the original The Strangers. Now, yeah, I think there was like kind of like, there was a list of films that we could have like picked to watch, and the most votes was from The Strangers. And yeah, we watched this one during English, and yeah, during English lesson, and I do remember watching it, and I wasn't sure what I was going to make to this because, again, like being 14 at the time, I was thinking, woof, is there going to be a few like sort of shit scares here and there? But I watched it, guys, and I thought this was, again, I think my opinion has changed on this film over time, but at the time I did really enjoy this film. Again, I do remember a couple, the like people in my school year, they absolutely shit themselves. They were like, they were like that. It was, you know, like petrified, but really, but again, I guess the movie did its job there, I guess, all the same. And, again, like, these sort of masked strangers that would kind of, you know, like, sort of intrude on this, like, this holiday, this getaway with this couple, Liv Tyler and the guy. They're a couple. They've just come back from, I think, like a wedding reception, someone's wedding, and then they stay in this cabin, and then shit hits the fan big time when they find these strangers, these intruders are like basically banging the drum and like coming onto their doorstep. Again, some good like tension building that rises here and there, and it is a pretty decent like sort of like home invasion kind of movie there. So yeah, that is The Strangers, which I think I watched in my second to last year of high school, and I had a pretty good time with it. And yeah, there was a couple of times where I did shit my pants. So yeah, that is The Strangers. The last film to talk about when I was at school, the last film to talk about when I was at like high school, and it was a first time watch, and this was kind of around this time where I was really kind of scratching the surface with kind of like foreign language film, world cinema, and I knew nothing about this film until we watched it kind of like during film studies. We watched this film, and I just remembered, like, I think we were studying this film, part of like film studies in this course as well. Yeah, like none of us like in our classroom like heard of this film until like our film studies teacher brought it in, and we had to kind of, we were learning about this film and kind of about its subject and stuff. And my goodness, guys, this film is absolutely fantastic. I remembered watching this, obviously going back home and telling my dad of what a great movie this is, and I instantly wanted to like sort of get this on DVD and add it to my DVD collection. It's still, I think, still to this day, it's only had as far as a DVD release. It definitely is a film deserving of more recognition, in my opinion. And that is The Wave from 2008, German film. And this was great. This is a great film. I've watched this a few times. I remember watching this one with my dad. My dad absolutely loved it as well. He was like, wow, Sam, this is great. We've really picked a good film for us to watch tonight here. And yeah, this was like February 2014. I first watched this film during my last year of high school. And this film, yep, is great, about a teacher as cool gets. He is having a great he's just having a real satisfying life. His marriage, he's and everything else, he is just on top of the world, this guy. Then he discovers that he is being told he's got to relocate his classroom, and that there's a new guy on the block, this new teacher that's just rolled in to kind of like take over this classroom. So he's got to relocate into this classroom and then take on like kind of a new classroom of like a new set of students. He was going to like teach something like maths or history or something like that. And then he basically, to kind of to keep his students engaged, and so his classroom is engaged in that, he decides to form, like, him and his students form this community and form their own club called The Wave, where they would do demonstrations. They've got like a new set of rules and that, and basically to form their own community, do kind of like different activities at school as well. But like kind of then this would kind of segue for like a few of the students. They would kind of hang out with like one another, but do something kind of like under sort of like kind of like the rules of this club and that. And yeah, and then the teacher would be like their leader, and yeah, and they would have their own logo. They would do some advertising to promote this, and this is a fantastic little film, guys. The acting is brilliant. You learn about the ins and outs and the drastic outcomes of what could sort of like that comes into the picture as the film goes on, and it's just an amazing film, guys. And wow, that ending, without spoiling it, I remember watching that and like everyone else in my school year, we watched this and our jaw hit the floor because we were just shocked with how that it turned out to be, that ending. And yeah, it's a really cool film, guys. Some great moments in there. I do love the opening scene where the main teacher, he's on his way to school, he's singing along to the Ramones' Rock and Roll High School. And yeah, again, there's just some great character work in there, and some great relationships, some great friendships in there too as well. And you learn about this community in this club like called The Wave, and kind of like again what the activities and the demonstrations that this community get up to as well, you know, like wherever that's kind of like during their leisure time and during the school time. So yeah, brilliant movie, guys. The Wave, great stuff. So that's all the movies that I've showcased here today on the channel that were first time watches at school. The last film I'm going to talk about was my first year of college, and this was about April 2015. I had to include this film on the list, guys, because I remember I missed this one at the cinema. I was gutted I missed this one at the cinema. I just remember this one getting so many glowing reviews, great word of mouth about it at the time, and it did so well at the Oscars. And I remember, again, me and few of my friends, and like first year of college, it was like in Huddersfield. And I remembered we watched this one, I think it was before the Easter holidays as well. And that is Whiplash. Wow. Wow. This film is fucking amazing, guys. I absolutely love and adore this film, and I will never ever forget the first time I watched this. I just remember we were all glued to the screen. We could not take our eyes off the screen. There was just so much tension that rose in this one. So many anxiety-inducing moments, to the point where you are rooting for your main leading character here. Played wonderfully by Miles Teller, but my goodness, the chemistry between Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons is just some of the best chemistry acting I've ever witnessed on screen. It is fantastic. And I will say, guys, if you're not a fan of the jazz genre and you don't go looking for these kind of films too often, I will say to you guys, best piece of advice I give to you, don't be put off by that side of the movie with it being kind of jazz themed, because there's a lot more to it than just that. You've got a brilliant sort of like story here where you're rooting for Miles Teller's main character, where he is just, again, he's kind of like, there's so much going on in like his social life, and now he's kind of part of this jazz band as a drummer, and he's doing everything he can to impress his teacher, but his teacher is building him up and building him up to be who he wants to be. But there is just so much tension this film clings onto like a thread, and it is just absolutely mind-blowing, to say the least. This is one of my favourite films of all time. I also do remember when we watched this for the first time at college, I remember like our teacher as well, he would, and to be fair, this was great. He paused at a couple of points in the movies of kind of what we're taking away from this movie, what's the messages in this, and it's kind of a great sort of interaction of kind of what we're learning from this movie, where do we think this film is going to go next, and I just loved that interaction. But just it's just a film like I've not seen before, guys, or after it, and I'm a fan of jazz music anyway, guys. I love like Miles Teller's a good actor, but Miles Davis and you know, like Charles Mingus and John Coltrane. I love like those jazz artists, and still do, and even before I watched this movie. But even if you're not a fan of jazz, guys, I would still give this film a watch. It is well worth your time. The cinematography and the direction from Damien Chazelle is absolutely just a work of genius here. It is craftsmanship to the core. So, yeah, this is one of my favourite films of all time, and it's all because of that very day when we first watched this one at our first year of college. So that is Whiplash. In my opinion, guys, one of the greatest films ever, and it's, in my opinion, going to be forever hard to beat this. So, guys, those are all the movies that I first watched for the first time at school, and a film that I first watched at college. So yeah, guys, do let me know some of your first time watches, wherever that was, at school or college, at university, and what's your thoughts on any of these movies. I would love to know all of that good stuff in the comments down below. It's been really good kind of doing this video. It's been really good fun. I'm really glad I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different here, and yeah, it's been good fun. And yeah, guys, I just want to say thanks so much for all of your continuous support on the channel. It means a million, guys, and yeah, thanks ever so much, guys, for all of your continuous support and commenting and likes, the messages. It really just goes a long way, and yeah, long may this journey, YouTube journey, continue there. So yeah, I will be back for episode 4 of the unwatched shelf series. I'm gonna be doing that on Friday. I think I've got an unboxing video in the pipeline as well, of a brand new physical media release. And I do want to do something horror related as well. So yeah, guys, gonna be some more like videos that will be coming in like the not far distant future there, and long may it continue. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching, cheers for stopping by, and until next time, I'll see you for the next video. Bye bye, take care, guys.